Now, before your TikTok brain gets to you and you want to skip off of this video and watch some other bullshit, if you want to make money watching UFC, stick around in this video because I'm going to give you tips, locks, underdogs for this week that is going to get you money and win you money on this week's card. Last week, we had a very successful week. Our lock of the week hit at plus money, our underdog of the week hit, and we hit various plus money props. You can go back and watch the recent video. We picked Patricio Pitbull to win by decision. He was our underdog of the week. We hit the underdog of Patricio and the prop 2-in-1 with him to win by decision. We hit our lock of the week at plus money, which was the Poirier versus Holloway fight to go the distance, paired with a Bruno Ferreira money line. And we did hit multiple plus money props with the Jimmy Crute round one submission and Vinicius Oliveira to win by in round three or decision. So we are coming off of a very good week. If you guys want to make some money, stick around because I'm going to give you some plus money locks. You know, I'm not one of those guys that are going to give you a fucking dumbass lock of the week on where you put down 100 and you make 120. Like anyone can fucking do that. So I have a requirement for my lock of the weeks. If you're new, the requirement is that it just has to be at plus money. So which means you double your money. So if you put 100 down, you're at least getting 200 back. And yeah, so we're gonna break down maybe not every single fight on the card, mainly our lock, our underdog, and our props that we're going to be playing on this week's card. Now, starting with leg number one. Similar to last week's lock of the week, we are doing a two-leg lock of the week. Now, leg number one is Carlos Leal by knockout. Now, Carlos Leal is coming off of that round one knockout victory over Alex Morono. I believe that was on the Alex Pereira versus Ankalaev card, which was not too long ago. Um, he took no damage in that fight. He's fresh. He's been training. He's been in the gym. He looks to be in tremendous shape again ahead of this fight with Muslim Salikov. And yeah, he's 31 years old. He's in his peak prime, physical prime. He's in great condition. Now, if you look at Salikov, the stats on the left-hand side of the screen, he's 41 years of age. Now, that's a 10-year age gap discrepancy, which is huge. Um, and if you also look, Carlos Leal lands 9.6 significant strikes landed per minute to Muslims 3, which is 3 times more. And at 41 years of age, if you're getting hit by 9 significant strikes landed per minute, that's what fucking 35, 36, whatever around. You know, he's not lasting. And a guy who's been KO'd twice in the last couple of years, one more of recent with Randy Brown getting the first round knockout over him, um, and also Li Jingliang. Now, Muslim Salikov, he's a nothing burger on the feet. His boxing is he doesn't own boxing pretty much. I don't think he is a threat to Carlos Leal with his hands at all. You know, apart from his spinning wheel kick, which I believe he has 5 or 4 on his record. I think 5 now after his last victory against Song Kanon. But he just watch Muslim Salikov on the feet. He doesn't put his combinations together. He doesn't use his jab. He likes to go for a looping left hook every now and then. But a guy like Leal, who's always looking to counter and who's very attentive while walking forward and switching stances, and who does move his head, in a sense, Carlos Leal's head movement isn't the best, but it's not a threat to where we're going to look at this and be like, oh, Muslim Salikov, you know, could catch you coming in. The guy's 41 years old, and that's what led me to the lock of the week pick here as leg number one, is just the age gap and the power gap. And Carlos Leal, he ticks those boxes. He can go forward for 3 hard rounds. We saw him do that on short notice against Renat Fakhretdinov, and it doesn't give who the fuck gives a fuck what the judges said in that fight. He won that fight. I think there's like at least 20,000 verdict users, and if you look on the verdict global scorecard scored by fucking normal people, he won every single round. He beat Renat Fakhretdinov. Who gives a fuck what the judges say? And then he smoked Morono in round one. Not even Buckley could smoke Morono. Buckley won a fucking 29, 28, 30, 27 decision. So, yeah, Carlos Leal is leg number one. And yeah, I believe he's going to go out there and get him out of here in round one, maybe round two. Even Muslim Salikov's last fight was 8 months ago, 9 months ago, nearly a year ago. So it's not like he's been, active. He's had a bit of time away. Lial's more on the active side. He's obviously 10 years younger. He's got the longer reach too. He fights in kind of a karate stance in the sense where he has his lead hand out, pouring with his opponent's lead hand, and he's not bouncing on his feet like a Wonder Boy, but he does have a very wide stance. He's comfortable with fighting in both stances. We saw that in the Morono fight. He switched to southpaw for a bit of time and was landing a good two to the body. That's a shot that he loves, and he kind of comes upstairs with it he like baits you to think you're coming to the body, and then bang, he throws a two upstairs. He's got a very good right hand, and he does follow up with left hooks to the body, which I do like. An older guy like Salikov, um, the body can only take so much, and I feel like he could even get him out of here with a left hook to the body paired with the right hand. I feel like it's going to be a first round decapitation. I'm going to say around the 3 to 4 minute mark, Carlos Leal is going to win this fight by knockout. That is leg number one for lock of the week. Now, if you're in Australia, those odds are about $1.80, $1.85. Now, to get that over the line to plus money, we're going to pair this with a very simple leg to get double your money and get plus money on our lock of the week for this week. And that is the Amanda Hebus fight versus Tabitha Ritchie fight to start round two. So pretty much all that means is we need the fight to go 5 minutes, which is a fucking lock. Like there's zero chance. Both women have zero finishing potential. I know fucking Hebus had that spinning wheel kick KO like maybe 2 years ago against Luana Peñejo. But other than that, she's a nothing burger on the feet. Tabitha Ritchie as well. They've both got no power. Short little girls. They're just going to trade in the pocket and calf kick and ha 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 and shadow box at range and do nothing for 3 rounds. One of them's probably going to win a split decision. Who gives a fuck? Second leg for lock of the week is the fight to start round two. You pair that together with the Carlos Leal KO. That gets you about $2.04 odds. That is what I got. That is plus money. You put 100 down, you're going to get back 204. So that is our lock of the week for this week's card. Now, our underdog of the week for two in a row. We are going with Asu Almabayev. Now, one big thing that led me to select Asu Almabayev as the underdog of the week, and that was the simple fact that Jose Ochoa is 24 years of age. He's got only 9 fights, and he's taking this fight on short notice. I really do not understand why Ochoa is the favorite in this fight. Now, it depends on where you look, what bookies have it. He may be the favorite, he may be the underdog. For me, it's even right now, but I did get Asu Almabayev at an underdog price. He's got what? He's got 24 fights to Jose Ochoa's 9. He's nearly got 3 times more fights. He's been fighting better competition. He's been in the UFC longer, and he's had a full training camp. He's fought a very similar style of opponent in O'Day Osborne, a long, rangy southpaw who's got good power in his hands and uses his kicks. That is, Jose Ochoa and Osborne are nearly identical. Osborne is quicker, but Ochoa may have the power advantage, or probably not actually. I'd probably say O'Day Osborne has more power and is quicker, but Ochoa has the cardio that a guy like Osborne does not have. But that's the thing. It kind of evens out now because he's taking this fight on short notice. I believe 3 weeks notice or something like that. It could be less. It could be more. But Asu Almabayev, he's got some decent wins in the UFC. He's beaten, he's shown that he can deal with a longer, rangier guy. Jose Ochoa's only got a 3-inch height advantage over him, but he's dealt with a 6-foot Jose Johnson, and he dominated him. He's taken down and submitted O'Day Osborne. Like I said, this is the thing that I like for Asu. He's fought a guy that is exactly like Jose Ochoa in O'Day Osborne. This guy who's light on his feet, who comes forward and is quick with his hands and is a striker predominantly. Jose Ochoa is exactly that. But one thing Jose Ochoa has shown is that he can get taken down. He was taken down by Cody Durden in his last fight 2 times in round 1. 2 times. If Asu Almabayev if Cody Durden can take you down 2 times in round one on a full training camp, Asur Almabayev can too. Asur Almabayev has tremendous grappling. Tremendous grappling. He averages 4 takedowns per fight. That's a takedown a round, and I believe that's enough to win him at least 2 out of those 3 rounds. He's a guy that, when he does get you down, it's hard to get back up to your feet. And he does have 9 submissions on his record. He has various submissions. I could even see him finding a choke here in this one. And it's not like, oh, if Asu gets the takedowns and he's kind of putting all his energy into getting the takedowns and Ochoa gets back to the feet, he can kind of wear on him as the fight gets on, because no, he's taking that fight on short notice. And I was watching Charles Oliveira's fight vlog for his fight with Topuria, and Ochoa flown out. He was supporting his teammate. He fights how to shoot a box. He was supporting his teammate. He wasn't really training. So it's not like that whole week was dedicated to Charles. When it was on flights going from Brazil to America, back from America to Brazil, and then he got the call. So it's not, he's been eating unhealthy in America, I'm sure, as they do when they go over there. But this is a short notice fight for Ochoa. Asur Almabayev has fought guys like Ochoa in Ode Osborne. Ochoa has not fought guys like Asur Almabayev. So I believe that Asur Almabayev, his path to victory here is his grappling and his wrestling, and I believe he will do that, like the Ode Osborne fight. He will mix in the takedowns. He will be able to get the takedowns, and he does have a very good overhand as well. He has a high and tight guard, which I like. So he's not very open to get hit with a big shot like as in Durden was. So I feel he could even land that overhand. And Durden clipped Ochoa at one point in round one too. He kind of wobbled him for a second. And yeah, man, just Asura Mabayev, he's got nearly 3 times more fights than Ochoa. Ochoa's only 24 years old. Asura Mabayev's fought much better competition, and Ochoa's taking the fight on short notice. Ochoa's only fought a Durden, a Kavanagh, and a 7-1 opponent. That's three good opponents out of his 9 fights. The other 6 are nothing burgers. They're tomato cans. Probably working in 7-Eleven right now. Look on his record. He's fought guys that are 2-5, 3-4, 2-9. And then you've got Kavanagh, who you lost to, which was a half decent performance as well. And I do think Ochoa is good. He does have a future. He's very young though. But Almabayev just has the resume. He's beaten ranked guys like Mateus Nicolau. He's been in there with Manel Cup, even though that was a loss. But Jose Ochoa ain't no Manel Cup, and I believe that Asur Almabayev is going to get the takedowns here. Predominantly, I do think he will win a decision, but I think he can definitely find the submission like he did against the likes of an Ode Osborne, and he does have power in his hands when he throws. So Asur Almabayev is our underdog of the week. Now, moving on to our first prop, and this is the prop I like the most on this card, and that is Piotr Jan by knockout. Now, this is paying a fucking stupid amount of money. This is stupid odds, $5.50. They're pretty much saying that Jan's almost a lock to win by decision, which it's silly. We're looking at, again, a guy who has been fighting better competition, who's got double the experience as Marcus McGee, and Marcus McGee hasn't had that jump up. Maybe you could say, oh, Jonathan Martinez is a decent opponent. He's on a losing streak right now. Martinez isn't even ranked, I don't believe. Marcus McGee didn't get like a Rob Font or a Cheeto Vera to build himself up to this. This is a big jump up in competition. I believe 4 fights ago, he was fighting Gaston Bolaños. Piotr Jan fucking smokes him in round one. So now, one thing when I was doing the tape study on this and analysing Marcus McGee's style and how I was to come to belief that Jan can get him out of there via KO was Marcus McGee walks forward and he stands upright and he stands very still and he kind of waits. He doesn't. He's not like a guy like Song Yadong, and I know Piotr Jan beat Song Yadong, but when Song Yadong goes and he throws his hands, he's feinting, he's moving his head, He's moving, he's light on his feet, and then it's up, like 1-2, left hook to the body, right hook to the body, and come up with the left hook. And Jan doesn't have enough time to react because his hands are so quick. McGee kind of stays still and stays flat on his feet, exactly like when Jan threw that overhand against O'Malley. Now that is exactly what I'm talking about. Remember when O'Malley was kind of pouring with his lead hand and hand fighting with Jan, and then Jan from the southpaw stands to a big left overhand over the top and dropped O'Malley? That's exactly what I mean here. Marcus McGee does the exact same thing. He tries to hand fight and stay still and just try and stay at range. But Jan can land that exact same shot over the top, and Jan has very good uppercuts. Um, we saw Martinez land a couple uppercuts in the clinch as well, but a guy like Jan who's got more power and is more well versed than a Jonathan Martinez, and who can mix in sweeps and takedowns and wear on you as the fight goes on. I think Piotr Jan, my official prediction is Piotr Jan by knockout in either rounds 2 or rounds 3. I'd probably say the late round 2 or somewhere in round 3. Um, I do think he's going to get Marcus McGee out of there. Even, it was getting scary for Marcus to get in the third round of the Jonathan Martinez fight. And that's a guy who's not throwing back against you. And his cardio is not bad, but it did look like he was starting to fatigue as that fight went on. And that's a guy who wasn't throwing anything. It was just him throwing. Jan's going to be throwing everything. He's going to be going to your legs. He's going to be throwing, stabbing front kicks to your body. He's going to be going forward, boxing, using his hands. He's got great boxing. He doesn't just headhunt. He goes to the body, mixes it up well. I'm very, very confident in this prop at $5.50. I'm going to slam the fuck out of this. Probably a full unit or two on this one. But yeah, Marcus McGee stands very, very still. Round 1, not as much because he's more light on his feet. He has more gas. But as the fight goes on, you kind of see he wants to stall positions and hand fight and stay still and sit in the center flat footed. That's perfect for a guy like Jan. To not get knocked out by Jan, you need to be moving. You need to be moving your head, you need to be moving your feet, mixing things up. Marcus McGee's standing there like a heavy bag most of the time. Um, so I do think Marcus McGee could have a decent round 1. Jan kind of starts slow in the sense, like with Song Yadong when he won round 1 against Jan. Um, a lot of guys have won round 1 against Jan, and then he kind of just downloads data and builds as the fight goes on. He wears on you with that high and tight guard. And I believe exactly that is what's going to happen in this fight. I'm predicting a Piotr Jan second or third round TKO, and that is our first prop of the card. Now, for our second prop of the card, at just plus money, we are taking the Bryce Mitchell versus Saeed Nurmagomedov fight to go the distance. Now, essentially, Saeed Nurmagomedov was I was actually looking at both of these guys because they were close to even money at one point. I only saw Saeed as the underdog, but I was looking at both guys as an underdog opportunity because it's a winnable fight for both gentlemen. But Bryce Mitchell does have the better fight IQ. I just can't trust in Saeed Nurmagomedov. He's a guy who throws more spinning wheel kicks and more spinning back fists more than his 1-2s, more than his jabs. I think his most thrown shot or punch is a spinning back fist, which I don't like. He doesn't have good cardio. If he's not landing a spinning wheel kick on you in round 1, or he's not landing a roundhouse, or he's not syncing up a guillotine in the first 4 minutes, he's pretty much done. Bryce Mitchell has great cardio. We've seen that. He's gone 3 hard rounds against guys like Edson Barboza and Dan Ige and won the decision. It's kind of like an Edson Barboza in the sense, but Saeed is a little bit more dangerous in round 1, I believe, and he does have to be careful with his head placement while shooting the takedowns here. But I think essentially what we're going to see is similar to the Jonathan Martinez versus Saeed Nurmagomedov fight, where Martinez just kind of got in his face and held him against the cage. I think that's exactly what Bryce is going to do in this fight. I think he's going to hold Saeed against the cage. I think as long as we can get through round 1, this prop is definitely live and I'm very confident in for this fight to go the distance. Now that's currently sitting at just at plus money, which is a requirement for my props that I give out as well. I'm not going to give out props at fucking $1.10. But yeah, I'm confident this fight does go the distance. Bryce Mitchell has no power in his hands at all. Said Nurmagomedov, he's quick, he does have power, but it lasts about 4 to 6 minutes, if that. Um, as long as Bryce Mitchell does not get guillotined in round one, or does not shoot a sloppy takedown and get Saeed sprawling and sinking up a dash choke or something, or it doesn't get hit with a spinning wheel kick in the first 4 minutes, I think that we're very safe and live for this fight to go the distance. And honestly, I am going to pick Bryce Mitchell in this fight. I do think he's got the better cardio, and that's what I think is going to play into this one. I think Saeed's probably going to win round one, um, but he needs to use his fundamentals more. He needs to use his jab. He needs to use, instead of these spinning wheel kicks and spinning fists, back fists, throw the teeps of the body, kick the calf, move, jab, go to the body, front teep, leg kick, mix up, throw your 1-2s. I don't think I've seen him throw a 1-2 in his last fucking 4 fights. Like in the Oliveira fight, Vinicius Oliveira fight, he won round one, but then after that he just gassed. Round three, like, was nearly quitting. So I just think it's going to look similar to the Jonathan Martinez fight, and Martinez did win that fight, a lot of it by cage control, holding him against the cage and just wearing on him, landing shots in the clinch. So my pick is going to be Bryce Mitchell by decision. But for the prop, we are going to be going with fight to go the distance. Now you could even take the little side prop as well. My advice of a Bryce Mitchell decision because of the cardio issue and fight IQ of Said Nurmagomedov. Don't trust him. Just don't sit this one out. He's a retard. But yeah, fight prop number 2 is fight to go the distance. Now our prop number 3, which is a bit of a long shot, is Davy Grant by knockout. Now Damon Blackshear is fucking dog shit on the feet. I don't know why he is paying less for a knockout than Davy Grant. Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson, who is a part-time high school teacher, was lighting up Damon Blackshear on the feet. I was getting worried in that fight. I had money on Gibson, and I was like, "Fuck, is fucking Cody about to TKO him?" He was a shelling up, going backwards against Cody Gibson, going backwards and covering up against the cage, and Gibson was teeing off on him, and I was thinking, "Holy shit!" And Davy Grant, he's a veteran. He's got good wins. He's got great experience against tough opponents. And he does have power in his hands. He's knocked out guys like Jonathan Martinez, who are hard to put away. Not even Aldo could do that. And I feel like Damon. Now, if I was to pick a fighter to win, it would probably be Damon Blackshear. I'd probably say a decision. I think he's probably just going to get the takedowns and control him here. I don't think he'll be able to find the submission. But if you want a bit of a long shot prop, a little sprinkle, I'm going to go with a Davy Grant KO, which is at $10 odds, so 10x your money, which is a little bit silly by the bookies because this is definitely a possibility. When you've got a guy like Cody Gibson backing you up and landing various fucking shots on you, and it looks like it was getting scary for a little bit of a standing TKO there, Davy Grant's definitely a sniff, and he can land that overhand. He's got a good right hand, so yeah, that is our last and final prop of the card. Now that is all for this week. We have given out our lock of the week. A bit of a recap. So our lock of the week was Muslim Salikov versus Carlos Leal. We had leg number 1, Carlos Leal to win the fight by knockout. Paired that with the Tabitha Ritchie versus Amanda Hebus fight to start round 2. So that gets it at plus money. That gets it at $2.04. Our underdog of the week is Asur Almabayev. You could also take the prop as well. We're going to give out a little bit of a prop here, is the Asur Almabayev by decision. And our props was our most confident prop, Piotr Yan by knockout. I believe rounds 2 or 3, but I'd say just take the knockout with no rounds. Just take the knockout. It's good enough odds as it is. Bryce Mitchell versus Said Nurmagomedov fight to go the distance, and Davy Grant by knockout as a bit of a long shot prop. So that is it. We've given out 3 props. We have given out our underdog of the card and our lock of the card. Now, like I said, we are coming off a successful week last week where we hit all three. We hit our underdog of the card, our lock of the week, and we hit two props at plus money. So coming off of a very good week, looking to double that up. If you guys want to make some money, jump on these now and don't listen to fatties who have never been in the cage. Thanks for watching.